The Bhagavad Gita, a life-changing guide. The Bhagavad Gita, often referred to simply as the Gita, is one of the most profound and influential texts in human history. It is a 700-verse scripture that forms part of the Indian epic, the Mahabharata, and is presented as a dialogue between the warrior prince Arjuna and his charioteer, the god Krishna. The Gita addresses fundamental questions about life, duty, purpose, the nature of reality, and the path to spiritual realization. This book, often regarded as a spiritual guide, provides timeless wisdom that has the potential to transform one's life by offering clarity, purpose, and inner peace. Through its teachings, one can achieve a deeper understanding of themselves, navigate life's challenges with resilience, and move closer to the ultimate goal of liberation or moksha. The Bhagavad Gita takes place on the eve of the great battle of Kurukshetra, where Arjuna, a mighty warrior, faces a moral and existential crisis. He is torn between his duty as a warrior, kshatriya, to fight in the war, and his deep reluctance to kill his relatives, teachers, and friends who are on the opposing side. As Arjuna contemplates the chaos and bloodshed that war will bring, he is overwhelmed with sorrow, confusion, and despair. In this moment of doubt, he turns to his charioteer, Krishna, for guidance. The dialogue that follows forms the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna imparts to Arjuna profound spiritual wisdom, addressing the nature of life and death, the path of righteousness, Dharma, the importance of detachment, and the role of devotion and surrender in achieving spiritual liberation. The essence of the Gita, understanding your purpose. The Gita addresses the question of purpose. Why are we here? What is the meaning of life? In its teachings, Krishna explains that life is a journey of self-realization, a process of recognizing the eternal self, Atman, and aligning with the divine purpose. Krishna tells Arjuna that everyone has a duty or dharma, which is the path that they must follow to fulfill their purpose. This duty is often linked to one's nature, skills, and responsibilities. The Gita teaches that one must act in alignment with this duty, without attachment to the fruits of action. One of the most important messages of the Gita is that true fulfillment comes from doing one's duty selflessly, with devotion and without selfish desires. When you live in harmony with your inner calling and the world around you, you experience peace, balance, and joy. The concept of Dharma, duty and righteousness. Dharma, or duty, is a central theme in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna encourages Arjuna to fulfill his role as a warrior in the war of Kurukshetra, emphasizing that performing one's duty is the highest form of righteousness. The Gita teaches that Dharma is not a rigid, predefined set of rules, but rather a path of moral action that is aligned with truth and compassion. However, the Gita also stresses that Dharma must be guided by wisdom and discernment. Selfish desires and ego-driven actions can lead one astray, making Dharma not merely about following external duties, but aligning one's heart with the higher truth and universal good. Krishna explains that Arjuna's hesitation to kill his relatives is rooted in attachment and desire, which clouds his judgment. True Dharma transcends attachment to results and teaches us to act for the greater good, even in difficult circumstances. One of the core teachings of the Bhagavad Gita is the concept of karma yoga, the yoga of selfless action. Krishna urges Arjuna to perform his duty without attachment to the outcomes of his actions. Karma refers to actions or deeds, and karma yoga is the practice of performing these actions selflessly, without attachment or desire for personal gain. Karma yoga emphasizes that we cannot control the results of our actions, but we can control the way we approach them. By acting with a sense of detachment, without expectations, and offering the results to the divine, we free ourselves from the cycle of attachment and suffering. Krishna's counsel to Arjuna to focus on the act itself rather than the rewards reflects the idea that true inner peace comes when we release the need for external validation or rewards. Bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion, is another key teaching of the Gita. Krishna reveals that the ultimate goal of life is to develop a deep, loving devotion to the divine. Bhakti is not about rituals or dogma. It is the cultivation of an intimate, personal relationship with the divine, where the devotee surrenders their ego and finds solace and guidance in the love and grace of God. Krishna teaches that devotion to God is a path that transcends all other practices. When you surrender to the divine will, your heart becomes purified, and you are guided by divine wisdom. Bhakti Yoga emphasizes that love is the highest form of worship, and by cultivating love for God and all beings, one can attain moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge. The Bhagavad Gita also highlights Jnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge and wisdom. Jnana Yoga focuses on the realization of the self, Atman, as distinct from the body and mind. It is a path of discernment where one seeks to understand the true nature of existence by removing the veil of ignorance. Krishna explains to Arjuna that the physical body is temporary and perishable, but the Atman, soul, is eternal and indestructible. The realization of this truth leads to detachment from the material world and the fear of death. Jnana Yoga teaches that by understanding the nature of the self and the universe, one can overcome the illusion of separateness and experience unity with the divine. A critical teaching of the Gita is the distinction between the body and the self, Atman. Krishna explains that while the body is mortal and subject to birth and death, the Atman is eternal, unchanging, and beyond the physical realm. When Arjuna expresses his sorrow over the prospect of killing his relatives, Krishna reminds him that the true self, Atman, is never destroyed. The body may perish, but the soul remains immortal. This realization helps Arjuna rise above his grief and hesitation, as he understands that death is only a transition, not the end of existence. The nature of the self is central to many teachings in the Gita, as realizing the eternal nature of the self is key to achieving liberation from the cycle of samsara, rebirth. The Gita also emphasizes the importance of meditation and mind control. Krishna explains that the mind is both the greatest friend and the greatest enemy of a person. By cultivating a disciplined mind, one can achieve peace and focus, but an uncontrolled mind leads to confusion and suffering. Krishna advises Arjuna to practice regular meditation, focusing the mind on the divine. This practice leads to inner peace, clarity, and an understanding of the ultimate truth. Through meditation, one can silence the distractions of the mind, overcome desires, and achieve spiritual realization. The Gita advocates for detachment and renunciation, not in the sense of withdrawing from the world or responsibilities, but in terms of letting go of attachment to outcomes. Krishna tells Arjuna that he must act in the world but without becoming attached to the results of his actions. This detachment is crucial to maintaining inner peace and avoiding suffering. Detachment means engaging in the world while remaining unaffected by its fluctuations. It means doing your duty to the best of your ability without being emotionally attached to success or failure. This principle of renunciation of the fruits of action is central to the practice of karma yoga. In one of the most profound moments in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals his universal form Vishvarupa to Arjuna, showing him that he is not merely a charioteer or a deity, but the supreme cosmic power that encompasses all of creation. This revelation helps Arjuna understand that everything, life, death, the universe, is part of a larger divine plan. The vision of the universal form represents the realization that the divine is present in all aspects of existence. By contemplating the vastness of the cosmos, Arjuna gains a sense of humility, seeing himself as part of a larger, divine order. This insight deepens Arjuna's understanding of life's transience and the need to act according to the divine will. The ultimate goal of the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita is moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Krishna teaches that by following the paths of karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and jnana yoga, one can transcend the limitations of the ego and realize the eternal self. Moksha is the realization that one is not separate from the divine. It is the experience of oneness with the universe. The Gita emphasizes that liberation is attained through the dissolution of the ego and the complete surrender to the divine will. The wisdom contained in the Bhagavad Gita is timeless and applicable to all aspects of life. It provides a roadmap for navigating personal challenges, finding purpose, and achieving spiritual growth. The teachings can be applied in the following ways. Live with purpose. Understand your Dharma and align your actions with your higher purpose. Practice selflessness. Engage in selfless action without attachment to the results. Cultivate devotion. Develop love and devotion to the divine, surrendering your ego. Seek knowledge. Understand the nature of the self and the world through wisdom. Maintain detachment. Act in the world without attachment to success or failure. Practice meditation. Calm the mind and focus on the divine to achieve inner peace. The Bhagavad Gita is not just a philosophical text, but a practical guide to living a life of purpose, peace, and spiritual fulfillment. By applying its teachings, whether through selfless action, devotion, meditation, or knowledge, one can navigate the challenges of life with greater wisdom, clarity, and equanimity. The Gita encourages us to live with intention, to seek deeper meaning in our actions, and to realize the divine essence within us. It offers timeless wisdom that can guide anyone seeking to transform their life and connect with a higher purpose.